No Viking hats, everybody. Sorry for the disappointment, but it's still March nonetheless. Dan, obviously this is the third season. This is what you've been looking for. This is what the build has been. Just where do you think the ladies are at heading into Thursday morning?
Well, when we started back in June, we knew about 70% of what we were going to do, and we were going to learn some lessons from some wins and from losses, and we've certainly done that. And we structure our non-conference schedule and all of our travel to be as mentally and physically fresh as we possibly can be for this week. And everything comes down to this week. I believe we're in a good place mentally. We're in a pretty good place physically. We'll know a little bit more tonight with one situation, but I think that's going to work out. We've learned some things, and I'm going to keep it very generic. We've learned some things about ourselves that are going to really help us, we believe, for Thursday and for Friday. After, hopefully we can win on Thursday. Hopefully we can win on Friday. After that, you really don't know who you're going to play, and you're just going to have some fun. But these first two, the first one in particular, we've played them twice to very close basketball games, and we clearly understand some of the things that we have to clean up and do better at. And then as the head coach, you've always got to prepare a little bit in advance, and we feel like we're in a good place as we move forward.
A lot of the teachable moments, a lot of the stoppages today were on rebound, small stuff, March stuff, the important stuff that define the differences in a lot of the games. Just how important is it to just tighten up on some of the basics, rebounds, free throws, even inbounds passes, just to make sure that one possession or two possession go your way?
Well, we look like freshmen still at times, and you don't want to see that. But when half of your roster is freshmen, you're going to have that. We still have to meet the small things. We have to meet our pass. We have to shorten passes. We have to understand that in February and in March, the blood flows. What that means by that is it's going to be a very physical game where referees are going to put their whistles away. People are going to put their hands on you. Half of our roster has not experienced what a conference tournament is like, and we tried to replicate that today. And for 3/4 of the practice, that was really good. We've got to get better in late game situations, and that's where we weren't great today, but we'll address it tomorrow. I feel like you look at the one big stat for us this year is not being one of the best three-point shooting teams in the country or one of the best teams in turning people over. It's very simply that when we out-rebound our opponent, we have won every single game. And so, if we can out-rebound people, we feel really good about getting a victory. And I'll say even this, if we're within 5, I feel really good about us getting a victory because of how many times we turn people over and how many deflections that we get.
A lot of this season has been about the growth of the freshmen. They've had those road trips now. They've had the opportunity to not sleep in their own dorm beds. Just as they've progressed, just how do you find that those maybe metaphorical walls have just been grown into just confidence and comfortability within?
I feel like, there's still moments when they're freshmen, and I think that, me in particular, we have to get them a little bit further along than where they are. But it's a good group that plays really, really hard. But you're catching me right after a practice where I would like to have seen us meet our pass a little bit more, be a little bit more deliberate on our cuts with some of our freshmen, and them have a little bit more of an understanding of what this is going to be, because Fordham's going to come in with great confidence and bravado and attempt to, kind of smack us in the face on the very first play. And we better be prepared for that.
When you see Fordham, it's a scout that you've mentioned. That's been a one-possession game on both instances. Just how much do you impress upon that while keeping the focus on yourselves as a unit?
Well, I think we worry about ourselves. We play a unique style, and when we lost to Fordham at their place just recently, we missed 16 layups, and we missed wide open shots, and shots that were a little bit uncharacteristic. And so, the stat line looked like we had won the game, but at the end of the day, the only thing that mattered was the score, and Fordham beat us. And so we're going to have to make our layups and give none. And, we need to rebound the ball and then just worry about ourselves. And that's really what our focus will be tomorrow and Wednesday.
Obviously, there's been a focus on win for Meg, win for Hutch, win for Key, but win for the lady next to you. Just how important is that this time of year, having that impetus of just every game just having so much meaning, especially this time of year?
Well, I think that, for our postseason chances, we obviously have to continue to win. to honor our seniors, you've got to continue to win. And whatever your motivations are, whether it's for the person beside you or it's to advance in the conference tournament, if it's to get closer to 20 wins, whatever motivates you, let's just take that and let's run with that as we go into the tournament on Thursday. And you can have different motivations. There's nothing wrong with that. The key is making sure that all those motivations lead to one end goal, and that's the win on Thursday. And I really believe that's the direction our team is.
Success is such a loose word. I think everybody expects success for every single team to be win the Atlantic 10 championship. But in the scope of moments, days, building, what does success look like to you, and what do you want it to be?
There's the zero-sum scenario that people talk about, and there can only be one Atlantic 10 champion. And we'll see who that is on Sunday. I can say for myself that it's been a championship year in the sense of we have the best player in the Atlantic 10 and one of the best players in the country on our team. We've allowed two seniors that were at their previous stops where they didn't have a lot of happiness or success have happiness and success here. We've incorporated a group of half of our roster being freshmen and into a unit that is viable and who we believe have a bright future ahead of them. We've won 18 games, and if the head coach was a little bit better, we wouldn't have had 4 one-possession losses and maybe had a couple more and be at 20 or 21 wins already. But it's been a championship year in the sense of we've been around really good people who have represented this university really, really well and have represented our basketball program well. We feel like we're far from done, and we've enjoyed one another greatly. This team, because of the age disparities and the uniqueness of it, you have concerns about, would there be chemistry? And we've had nothing but chemistry from the moment that we came together in June. I can't say enough good things about this year. It's been an incredibly enjoyable year.